panel, come on in, have a seat, sit, well, wherever you want, I guess. I don't know if there's, nothing's roped off. How long is it? Are we almost done?
Wow. Already? We just got here. It felt like we just got here.
Halfway, okay. Come on in. Oh my gosh, it's you. You guys having fun so far at the con? Yeah? Was this first time con goers here? Second time? First time? Yeah? Wow. Thank you. Yeah, this is my first time at this con. I've been to a few others. What's this panel called again? Okay. I like how you said that. You guys should be voice actors. Hey! Come on in. Have a seat. Tablecloth all the way down, that's great. I hate whenever they set up a table and then they don't have this skirt there. You can see like my crotch at like eye level. It's really, it's always the worst. All right, yeah, come on in, fill those seats.
Yes.
Probably getting close to the end here, I think.
This is the biggest turnout for any panel so far.
Is it? Wow. Well, I appreciate, that's it, cool. I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you guys waiting in line. Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yes, we didn't have to wait.
So, what in the world are we going to talk about? All right. Well, first off, if you don't know who I am, if your friend dragged you in here, I'm sorry. My name is Johnny Yong Bosch. I was Adam in Power Rangers. Vash in Trigun. Ichigo in Bleach. Lelouch in Code Geass. Isaiah in Bidai. I'm afraid to say something because maybe you won't cheer. I should just stop there. I'm gonna stop there. But I'm in a few other things as well. I think they just announced apparently Sailor Moon. I'm in Sailor Moon, but you didn't know? I'm pretty sure they announced it because a couple people said it. Otherwise, I'm not. I got. If you have Netflix, there's a Netflix original anime. I think it's their first one. It's more, and it's Knights of Sidonia, and it's on Netflix. You can check it out. I think they have at least the first season up, I believe. It's more for time. If you don't know why I'm saying that, it's somebody's messenger or whatever it is that you got is the Power Ranger theme. But that's just, I just go into that. Just tap right in. Oh, Doraemon. Do you guys know what Doraemon is? Yes! So I'm in that, and I voice Nobita, or Nobi, and that's going to be on Disney XD in a couple days, Monday. Yeah. And that show, I don't know, I mean, some of you are familiar with the show. That's, Disney's brought it over here, and I don't think you need to be, some people are worried about like things that were changed for broadcast and whatnot, but nothing major was changed really. The only things are like, they put clothes on naked kids. Yeah. So if you have a problem with that, you probably shouldn't be here at a con. And we should probably lock you up. But yeah, most of the stuff's the same, and the story's the same. The characters are great. It's a really fun show. It is more, I guess it's, I mean, for Japan, it's like a family show, really. But here, I mean, kids would love it, but you might actually get a kick out of it too, because the characters are really great. All right. So again, I'm Johnny Yong Bosch, and we're just I'm gonna tell you stories. I'm gonna answer a few questions. I do want to apologize actually to all of you. I know that with the autograph lines, they're pretty long. We don't. I don't know why, but it's like we don't have a lot of time to get through them. They've only given us, I don't know, maybe an hour or an hour and a half. It seems like, or two, to get through them. And then they obviously cut you guys off, and we can't always take photos whenever doing autographs. And here's the reason. Some of you were upset that you couldn't take a photo or whatnot. And the reason is because the line is long, and at a certain point they cap it. And a lot of people only have a one-day pass. So if they cap that line, they don't get anything. You know, whereas maybe you got to get a couple autographs and a photo, they get nothing, you know? So that's why we try to like avoid photos until it makes sure, because I just want to make sure everybody gets something, you know, an autograph, whatever it is, a little spit whenever I talk. A lock of hair. No, but I do want to make sure everyone gets an autograph, you know, so that's why if you're ever wondering if you go to a con and they're only limited, you can only get one autograph, don't be frustrated. It's because they really want to make sure they get everyone they can. And that's the only reason why we do that. And that's why if you go to our concerts with the band, it's usually late at night, and afterwards we always sign and take pictures until everybody's got something. But anyways, if you're wondering why we've been doing that, that's the way it's been. And I thought that there weren't going to be a whole lot of people here, and I thought I was going to be able to squeeze through and get a few pictures, but I don't know about that. Maybe. Or you can. We were thinking about going to Denny's later, but this might be a big crowd for Denny's. I don't know if that will work out. We could do it. I mean, if you want, me and the band, we're gonna go to Denny's around, I think, 6 or 7 o'clock. Just have dessert and hang out, meet and greet with some fans and take pictures. If it becomes, I'm hoping it's not too many. Just maybe a couple of you come. So only a few of you can come. You guys decide who's gonna go. If it ends up being massive, like ridiculous, we're just gonna hang out in the parking lot until the cops come. But yeah, so we'll be taking pictures and signing stuff, and if we can get inside, have an apple pie. I don't know. But we like to hang out with people when we can, so we're gonna do a little bit of that before. Do you guys know Jason Narvey from Power Rangers? Skull, Vulcan Skull. He's Skull, so I'm trying to hang out with him a little bit because he lives out here. So I want to be able to do like a little quick meet and greet with you guys, and then go hang out with him for a little bit before he has to get back home and all that good stuff. Anyways, all right, so let's start with some questions, and then yes, first question.
Yeah, I have a question and a
Okay.
Can you do the love and peace?
This world is made of love and peace.
My question is, what was it like voicing Ichigo and Vash?
What was it like voicing Ichigo and Vash? It was awesome. Both times. Yeah, it's cool, Trigun was the first voiceover job for me, and so it was scary, but a lot of fun, And if you guys are familiar with Power Rangers, my character, I called myself the Background Ranger, because I know, but it's true. You go and you watch. I hardly talk, and I was, Tommy and them would be talking to Zordon or whatnot, and I would just be back here like this. Right. Do it. And so that's all I did. And so I called for at least the first season, it seemed like, and I was the quiet, shy one, and I really was. But yeah, so it was very different going from something where I did do a whole lot, and then except for fighting, whatever, which was awesome. But then going to do like a lead role in a series that was really good, So and a character that's like just kind of crazy and off the wall, all over the place. So it was a big change for me, and it was awesome. It really just opened the doors for me. Really, that was the first thing I got, and it was because let me tell you this story. After Power Rangers, the stunt guys they wanted to do an independent action film, and so they're all Japanese stunt guys, and so they had a camera and it was Japanese. Sound guys weren't Japanese, so when they were trying to get the audio out, something you got screwed up, and so all it was static through the whole film, just. And so I had to go in and dub myself. And as I was in there dubbing, the producer walked in, and he's like, "Oh, you got a good hero voice." And I just thought, okay, I'm playing a hero. That makes sense, you know, stating the obvious, thank you. And then he said it a couple times, said, "Yeah, you do have a good hero voice." Him and the director were talking about it. And then afterwards, he's like, "You know, will you come and audition for this animation I'm doing?" I was like, "Yeah, sure," because you want to work, right? And so I went to this audition, and they played me this clip in English, and they played it in Japanese, and they said, can you do something like the Japanese guy? I was like, I can try. So I auditioned, and a couple weeks later, they called me up and said, "You're going to be Vash and Trigun." And so that was my first thing, you know, and so it really just opened the doors. It was total fluke, really, if you think about it. And then people always ask me, "Hey, how do I become a voice actor?" And from my experience, it's totally, I just can't, how am I supposed to tell you? Well, work on an independent film, hopefully the Japanese guy's doing it, the camera, they screw it up. Maybe that producer does anime, I don't know, you might get lucky. So it's really weird, like if you take advice from me, it's like, well, I guess I would do this, put a demo together, and start sending it all over the place. So really it's just a fluke, and it was actually just getting an audition. Auditions are the most important thing, you know, you audition constantly, you know, if you want to work. Like, I mean, I think like last week, I maybe auditioned for at least like 6 or 7 different shows, you know, and I booked one. So it's kind of like that, like you just constantly, you know, audition. And then this is the other thing, is you just got to get over it. Like you're not gonna get most of them, you know. I know some of you guys are like, "You're in everything." And I am. But I've been very fortunate. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I've been very fortunate to get a number of really great roles. I'm so thankful for them. But it's just auditioning. I go in there and audition along with everyone else, you know. And so, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it's like always, it's me or Yuri or Bryce, you know, or Vic, you know, and so it's like the same group of guys are always against each other. But it's just, we've been landing them, you know, but there are a ton of other people that are, you know, out there. Yes, you have a question?
Yes, with the announcement that you're in the FateZero, I was just wondering what the recording process has been like. Where were you telling?
You know, here's the thing is like, I just found out that they announced it from you guys, like at the, like, "Oh, so how's it feel to be a cat?" And I was like, "What?" And then so I just found out. I didn't even know. So I don't really know if I can talk about it, other than the fact that they announced it. So I don't really, I can't really go into any details. Otherwise, I mean, I just started it, so they could be like, "You know what? You talked about it. You're gone. You know, you're not. How's that feel, Mr. Big Mouth?" Yeah. Eternal Sonata? I don't remember any lines from that at all. I don't remember his voice either. So long ago. And sorry, it's I'm sure it was, I think it was.
It was like, I hate the sweat coming off your eyes.
I don't even remember the range I chose. It was probably a natural, because I don't think he was too young. "I hate the sweat coming off of you guys." Something like that?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that's right. That could be, let's say, Lelouch, Isaiah.
Other question is, do you prefer voicing heroes or villains?
Heroes or villains? Both. Villains are a lot of fun because there's just something else there, you know. There's more to what you're saying. Like you'll have a line, but you mean something else. Like if you're saying "how do you do," you really mean "I'm gonna kill you." So there's always that in the back of your mind. So you get to play with things a little bit more. Heroes are great though when the story is awesome. You know, it kind of stinks when you get like a cliche, like, "Oh, this guy controls a giant mech and he's got a special necklace." And, you know, yeah, how many of those are out there, right? You know what I'm talking about. You could probably think of 5 at least right now. And some of them are good, you know, even though it's the same kind of cliche story. Some are still really good, and then some of them are like, what? But heroes are great because they work more. you know, they're in more episodes, and so you get paid more, and you can afford to eat. Yes.
What's your weirdest fan experience?
My weirdest fan experience. Ooh, like, come on. Yeah, it will be Denny's. Sure. Johnny Yong Bosch arrested. Let me think. Well, the first thing I can think of is in Alabama. I was doing a Q&A, and these girls were giggling over in the corner, you know, and I was like, okay, and I pointed over to them because they had their hand up, and they're like, are you afraid of being raped by fangirls? Seriously. And I mean, I was like, and it was it was kind of scary, you know? In Alabama, you know? So, anyways, I said, I am now. That's kind of weird. Another thing that was weird is, you guys know, if you know Vash, he loves donuts. And occasionally people give me donuts, which is pretty cool. But you guys know, like, if you go to the store, you buy donuts, and sometimes they have that cellophane, plastic, see-through stuff, right? So you can look at the donuts. Oh, there are donuts in there. And so I got some of those, and for whatever reason, I call them sweaty donuts, because, like, on the cellophane, there's just, like, dew, you know? Like, drippage. And I was like, oh, you know, it's kind of foggy. You know, like, if you're in the car, and it's just you breathing, it's a hot day. That's what it looked like. There's, like, a little person in there breathing. I was like, oh, that's great. And then she was like, here you go. And, like, waited for me to, like, open it up and eat one. And I was like, yeah, so that was kind of weird, too. Another one, I'll tell you, I was with Jason Frank, who's Tommy in Power Rangers. And we were signing and stuff, and this kid comes up and he's like, hey, will you sign my leg? I'm like, okay, you know, sometimes people sit up on the table and sign their leg or whatever. And I turned to talk to Jason, and when I turned back, there's like an actual leg, like a prosthetic leg, right here. And I look at him, the kid's like, he's doing this. Like that. And I was like, oh, better hurry up. Yeah, over here. Sure. Yeah. I'm just gonna go like this. Whoever catches it.
When you were voicing Renosuke in FateZero, he's like pretty psycho.
Yeah, Renosuke is insane.
Like, what was going through your head when you were voicing?
I was disgusted. If you know Renosuke in FateZero, he's just twisted. I don't want to. You might go check it out. I don't want to ruin anything. Man, he's just a twisted character. It's one of those things where you like go through the lines, and the director's telling me what he's done, you know, to kids and whatnot. And I'm like, what? It's kind of disturbing, but you have to put that all away, you know. And it's harder when you have a kid, you know. How many of you guys have kids? Anybody here have a kid? It's okay, don't be afraid. 2 or 3 of you. Okay, so you know when you first had your kid, right? Like when you're growing up, you know, for the guys especially. You can watch a movie, has kids in it, whatever, who cares, you know, you can tough it out. But then when there's a kid in it, a kid gets hurt, now, any movie with a little kid is stranded or something, I'm like, on the plane watching any movie where a kid, it could be anything, kid stubs his toe, I'm like, poor kid. And it used to be on the plane too, like, you know, before I had a kid, people next to me have the baby, and I was like, oh, shut your kid up, you know? But then when you have a kid, you're like, oh, hang in there, guys. It's like a different mentality altogether. Yes, you've had your hand up for a while.
Who are some voice actors you really look forward to working with?
I look forward to working with?
Or rather, like, you get a role, like, and you see this guy is also, like, working with you get like,
Do I get really excited? Steve Bloom is in this one! No, I'm not picky, to be honest with you. I'm just happy to be working. But it's great when you get people like Steve Bloom or even Crispin Freeman, you know, they're on the show, or Yuri's in the show, you know. Any of those. Todd, Habercorn's in this, awesome. and tease him about something. Yeah, and Bryce too. Bryce is a good guy. He's been in quite a bit now lately. Yes.
Have you voiced your lines for Persona 4 Golden?
No. Trying to think, because we've done a handful of things. I think the only thing I can mention is, was it Q? Yeah, Persona Q. I think that's. Can I talk about it? Do you guys know about that? Never mind. I don't know what I can talk about. Don't put this up on YouTube. Or edit that out. Yes. Do I see Lelouch as a hero or a villain? Well, kind of both, really. It's kind of hard to pick one or the other because he really is kind of a douchebag. I know, right? But you know, when you look at the whole thing, then it's like, man, it was all part of his plan, you know? Even though there were these other moments throughout it that, I don't know. It's just, he's both, really. He really is both. Towards the end, I was like, yeah, he's a hero. He's a hero. Have you seen it all the way to the end? The very end? Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah, hey, who has not seen Code Geass? All right, go. Really? Just you guys? 6 of you? Come on. You guys can do it. Just go see it. It's not on Netflix, though, huh? No, they should throw it on something. All right, you can probably find it on YouTube. Yes, yellow shirt.
What are some of the oddest experiences you've had in the recording booth?
Oddest experiences. All right, I'll tell you a story. And if you've heard, I mean, some of you have probably already heard my story, so bear with me. This one I was working on Wolf's Rain, which is another great series if you haven't seen it. It's got really great music and great voice acting. The Japanese is really great. No, the English is really good too, and not just because I'm in it, but that helps. No, it's so arrogant, sorry. I don't mean that at all. But no, it's a great series. Anyway, check it out, who cares? All right, so anyways, I was working on this show, and this is like the 2nd or 3rd show that I was in, and so nervous and whatnot. So I always want to make sure that I get there early, like 15 minutes early usually, so I can look through the script, find out where I'm at, and you know, and just kind of be able to play easier. But this one day, I show up kind of late. I didn't get a chance to eat breakfast, you know, and so you guys know when your stomach starts growling, like in school, right? Your stomach starts to growl. It's super embarrassing, you know. You start tapping your desk and shuffling your papers, you know, trying to shut it up so it doesn't make any noise. It's just super embarrassing. Well, in the booth, they can hear everything, you know, and so I was feeling that, like you know, that feeling when you know your stomach's about to start growling, you know, and I would just take a drink of water, you know, and I don't know why, but it would shut it up. And I say this all the time, but in my mind, there's like a growling monster in my belly, you know. It's like, I'm gonna growl, and I throw water on him, and he's like, "Whoa." And so, and it works. But every time I felt like, oh man, it's about to growl, I would take a drink, and it was working for a long time, you know. And this one moment, just out of nowhere, my stomach, instead of making a normal like growling noise, like going, or where I could be like, my stomach, embarrassing, right? No, it goes. So it sounded like, I was like, I'm gonna squeeze out a fart. And my butt cheeks were like, no, and squeeze it. Like it actually, like that. And I was like, oh no. And there's a big old glass here, you know, the engineer and Mary Elizabeth directing, and I could feel them just looking at me. And I'm thinking like, well, how am I gonna explain this? You know? And then I look over and they're like, I'm like, that was my stomach. I don't know. And they're like, oh. No, I didn't fart in here. And I was like, it smells good in here. Come in here, smell. And they're like, oh. There you go. It's an embarrassing story. I've got other embarrassing stories that I could tell. Let's go, a couple questions first, yes. Yes. Wait, what was that? Sorry? Oh, sorry? What was it like working with Crispin? Crispin is one of those guys like Steve Bloom that will always leave like bombs, you know, like they would always leave like a blooper or something beforehand, you know, like balls or whatever, you know, like, and they play it like right before your line or something. So that's one of the highlights, I guess, working with those guys, that they can be so serious on, you know, in this show, but in real life, oh man, forget about it. But I mean, I wasn't in the booth. Actually, if with anime, we don't work together, you know, we're in the booth by ourselves, and we record individually, with anime specifically. You know, prelay and all that's obviously different where it's a group of us. And so with that one specifically, it was just I would go in and they would have like, oh, here's a blooper, you know, surprise, you know, whatever. So sometimes the stuff gets pretty vulgar though. So, yeah, sorry, you had a question, yes? What are my thoughts of the Power Ranger reboot? I think it's kind of cool, actually. I'm sure that we won't be in it because we don't look like high school kids with attitudes anymore. Yeah, right? I don't think I look like a high school kid anymore. But I do think that they should throw us in the background somewhere. Like we should get the Stan Lee role, you know? Eating a hot dog at a stand or something while Megazord is destroying the city in the background. And we're like, you know? You don't even have to say anything. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. I'm sure they won't ask me to do it. They'll bring in like Amy Jo or Jason Frank or one of the leaders. You know, I would like to be Zordon. I would like to be a floating head. Rangers, observe the viewing globe. Angel Grove is in danger. Something like that. Yes, Persona 4. How was it like voicing Adachi and Narukami? How was it like? How was it like voicing them, or how was it like doing them? Because I didn't do... What do you mean? It was fun. Let me just say, Persona, when I first got hired to do Persona, I knew that I was playing Adachi. And so that was the first character we started working on, and around lunchtime, they're like, so you're also going to be doing the protagonist, you know, a bit later, towards the end of the session. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, what's the protagonist going to sound like? And he's like, well, it's kind of in the same tone, same range. I was like, he sounds the same? And I was like, well, he just does shouting, like fight noises, so he doesn't really say much, you know? And I was like, oh, okay, so it doesn't matter. And so we do the first game, you know, it's awesome, okay, great. Second game comes out, and I'm like, wait a second, he's talking a little bit now. To him. And then the other one's coming out, oh, he's talking more. And the animation comes out, and all I'm doing is talking to myself. So with the animation, I had to like change it slightly. I'd take one this way and one this way a little bit, just so it wasn't like it's the same guy doing the same voice, you know? And so that was tricky, you know, but you could probably check it out on YouTube. I posted it, somebody posted up the last sequence with Adachi and Narukami, because I really wanted to see how it played out in the animation. And it was awesome. Not because I'm great, but like it's really cool. It's a cool sequence, you know, and it was kind of fun to see how it played out, you know, because, you know, I wasn't sure how the voices were gonna, you know, read next to each other, and I felt like I did okay with what I was working with. You guys want to hear just a random story? Yes. Okay. Now, how many of you guys have heard the homeless woman quarter story? Okay, so most of you have not heard this story. Then I shall share this story with you guys. Because I'm getting tired of like sitting here and I want to stand. All right, this story is a true story. And it's, all right, so whenever I go to work, I take the freeway to get to work. It's like 30 minutes to Burbank to where I live, and then I come back home and I exit the freeway. There's like a stoplight there. There's always some homeless guy on the corner, and I always ignore him, you know, and I just like turn under the overpass and go home. And so this one day, I'm coming home. I exit the freeway, and it's a red light. There's like 4 or 5 cars in front of me, and there's like a monster truck pulling up behind me with tinted windows. So I can't see the person in there, and I don't know why I started kind of like internally like panic a little. Like I just felt like, you know, monster madness, you know, and it's like I couldn't see inside it. It's just this big monster truck, and all I could hear was like, you know, and I got these carrots, these leftover carrots in a Ziploc bag from lunch. I'm like scarfing them down kind of fast, and I'm like, oh, I better go. As soon as this turns green, I better go, or this guy's gonna run us all over. It's like, what's going on in my head, you know? And I look over, expecting to see a homeless guy, which there's always a homeless guy on this corner by the light. And I see a homeless woman. And my heart goes out to her, you know? If it's a guy, I'm like, hey, get a job, you know? But like a woman, I know it's mean, right? But that's only when I'm in my car. I mean, if there's a dude, I give the money. I could tell you a different story later. But usually in my car, it's just weird, you know? When you're in your car, like, how do you do this, you know? And so, like, the light is about the door for me, you know, in my car, right? There's like 4 or 5 cars in front of me. And so there's a lady there. I see her, my heart goes out to her, and I'm like, oh man, I have this Ziploc bag now, it's empty. And in LA, if you've been to LA, you have to pay for parking everywhere. I don't know if it's the same here downtown, but in LA, you gotta pay everywhere. So my cup holders are just full of quarters, you know? And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna scoop all these up, put them in this Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna give them to her. So I scoop up all these quarters, I put them in the Ziploc bag, and I'm like, dude, this is like 2 or 3 pounds of quarters. This is awesome. She's gonna be able to go do something, you know? I roll down the window, I put my hand out like this with this bag of quarters, and I look at her, and she sees me. She's got a sign. She's like, oh. She puts her sign down. She goes like this. And I'm like, what? Aren't you supposed to come get it? Am I supposed to get out? I've never done this before. I don't know how to, I can't throw with my left arm. It would just go like right over there. And so I don't know what to do, you know? I'm like, what? And then as I'm like freaking out, like, am I supposed to get out right now? The light turns green, and these 4 or 5 cars in front of me, they just start going. And I'm just feeling this pressure of the monster truck behind me, so I just start going, you know? And I'm approaching her fairly fast, and the monster truck is like right behind me, you know? So I can't like stop and give her the quarters. And I'm like, dude, how's this exchange gonna happen? You know, I'm at 20, 30 miles an hour. You know, I'm gonna like ram it into her gut like she's a football player or something. Like, oh, got it, you know? Or like, what if I hang on to it too long and pull her under my car and kill her? Or what if she pulls me out of the car and the monster truck runs me over? And so I'm like panicking, you know, I'm like, ah, you know? And then I get this moment of clarity, this epiphany, and I'm like, Johnny, you're a martial artist. Just focus. And so I'm going at 20, 30 miles an hour with 2, 3 pound bag of quarters in my hand. And I'm just thinking, all I have to do is she's coming right there, just choose the right distance, and I just release like that, and I'll watch it gracefully land into her hands. So I'm going 20, 30 miles an hour. Monster truck behind me, 2 or 3 pound bag of quarters in my hand, and I'm like, okay. And now. And I release. And if you've ever been in an accident or something, some tragedy is about to happen, time slows down. And what I see is I think God is up there like, wait. Puts it in slow-mo, and he's like, Moses, Jesus, come over here. This is gonna be good. So there I am, 20, 30 miles an hour. I release this 2 pound bag of quarters in the air, and I watch it in slow-mo. Fly. 2 or 3 pounds worth of quarters. 20 or 30 miles an hour.
Oh no.
Smacks her in the face. The bag rips open. It's a beautiful sunny day. I see quarters glistening in the sunlight as they fall. And all I could do, and this is exactly what I did. No! Going so fast, I'm like, I have to screech around the corner because I don't want to get run over. And what can I do? I didn't know what to do. I couldn't turn around. It's just a weird thing. So I just kept going. Just kept driving. Like, why did that happen? Trying to do something good for someone. This is a true story, guys. So I think the monster truck guy's like, dude, what? Dude, you stop the car, you get out, and you give it to him. Have you done this before?